Your first priority should be to bolster your armies through recruitment in order to adequately patrol France's extensive borders. The Alsace region to the east could be under threat. The inhabitants are largely German speakers, so Prussia or Austria may try to take it back in an attempt to forge a single German empire. However, a protracted land war with either of these nations may prove unwise, despite the strength and reputation of the French army. The territories of the Holy Roman Empire to the east are good Catholic populations under the corrupt yoke of heretic Lutheran masters. As such, the territories of Rhineland and Württemberg are potential targets for a Catholic French army wishing to bring the true religion back to the faithful. Also, look to expand your foothold in the new worlds of America and India before the British colonize both continents, therefore becoming too powerful to keep in check. There are still unexplored native territories on the American continent, although the Spanish have begun expansion in that direction, so time is of the essence. In India, the landscape is changing. The old Mughal Empire is starting to collapse and lose territory to their Maratha rivals. The British, Dutch, and Portuguese are all active in this theatre, so you should make alliances and secure territory before they do. Make trade agreements in order to sell your colonial resources. Open as many trade routes as possible between France and her colonies, and patrol routes against attack as much as possible. An alliance with Spain may also be fruitful, acting as a counterbalance to the current British monopoly in America.
Viva la France! I'm starting a campaign with the French, and we'll try to establish ourselves an empire that even Napoleon would be proud of. So let's start. Well, first I need to find out what do we have here with us, how much money are we making, and what our objectives should be. As you can see, in terms of prestige, we are at the top. We're the most prestigious nation in the known world, just behind the British, Spanish, Austrians, United Provinces, Ottoman Empire. United Provinces is reasonably small, but obviously they have very strong economy and strong naval power. Enlightenment will probably be research. Let us see our diplomacy standing so far. We are allied with Spain, which is very good. We're at war only against the pirates and Barbary states, so we're not at war against any major nation, and we have quite a few trade partners. Let's see who else can trade with us. Unfortunately, Russia cannot trade. The ports in their home region are at full capacity. A sea road from their capital cannot be established, but we can trade with other nations, for example Prussia or even Great Britain. Let's open the negotiations with the British and request a trade agreement. They're hostile towards us. Rarely has our glorious nation been so insulted. We reject your offer without hesitation. It looks like the British won't trade with us. They have constitutional monarchy, while we have an absolute monarchy. These are the two most dominating options. However, there's one republic, and that's the United Provinces. We can see why they like and don't like us. So historical grievances are the thing that is making Great Britain so hostile towards us. Let us try and establish other routes, for example from Prussia. They won't agree either, but what if we would offer them some cash, like 1000 pay once, their trade agreement for a single payment of 1200, let's say it's fine. Let's do that. Is there anybody else that would like to trade with us? Will be willing to pay. Okay, and so the ports in our home region are at full capacity now. We did manage to get a few trade agreements though. Okay, what about our financial situation? So we get 5,000 from the 5,200 from the tax. Trade income is almost equal to the tax. That's exactly why we're focusing on the trade too. Army upkeep and navy upkeep eats out the tax income, and some of the trade income we do get some income gain from other sources, such as payments from diplomatic negotiations and protectorates. We do have one protectorate, Louisiana, and I assume that's one of the countries in North America. We have a very large population, as you can see. Policies, this is where we can increase the taxes, automate the management. The lowest public order is 0, so that's fine. And here's our cabinet. We can kick the cabinet members out, and in hopes that some of these candidates would take their place. Let's try that. And as you can see, if a 4-star governor went in, he did in fact increase some repression. +1 to maximum repression bonus, -3% to the cost of town watch. That's good. Government popularity is 37%. And here's the trade, right? So that is very important. As you can see, we secure trade with Prussia and Austria. That will give us more than 1,000 coins in total, and we paid more than 2,000 coins for it. So that means in only a couple of turns we'll repay and we'll be making profit. This is what we have currently producing, and we're mostly producing furs, sugar and spices in America. Okay, so far we're reasonably fine. We have to protect our trade routes, and we have to establish new trade routes continuously. Now, where can I find those trade routes? There are some here in India, or at least I thought that there were. It looks like there are none. They should be somewhere out here. Let's see. Yeah, here's there. The coast of Brazil, Ivory Coast, Straits of Madagascar, and East Indies. These are the trade routes that we have to secure to gain as much money as possible. In order to secure the trade routes, we have to build ourselves the trading ships. This is a hard difficulty.
Prêt. Troupes, en avant.
So,
Marchez, marchez.
things may prove to be a little bit difficult. Let's see the speech. I'll turn it off.
En attente de vos ordres, en avant.
That didn't turn on the speech. What about the effects? The effects clearly turned off. The sound that the soldiers make. And what about the master? The master is probably everything's. So we're gonna keep the master on, and let's try this.
En attente de vos ordres, préparez-vous.
I'll just kind of have to live with that, it seems. There's nothing I can figure out. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. It's a trading ship. India man trade this ship. It costs 50, but it will pay off at some point. And I need to build these in all of my ports, and then I'll just have to send these babies to trade. So what are my objectives? My initial objectives are to avoid wars, establish trade routes, and after establishing all those trade routes, I'll hopefully have large enough income to fight and win. Now, when it comes to the navy, I suspect that I have to connect my navy into one dominant force. I'm still unsure, but I suspect that the biggest wars are going to occur in Europe, like the biggest battles at this stage. So I should be sending most of my navies to Europe. In this way, I should keep them all together. We'll have to have a navy to protect our trade routes that we're going to establish.
Vos ordres, Votre Majesté.
So far in Europe we have one stack, and that consists of 2 separate armies. A stack is just pretty much a full army.
Que voulez-vous de moi?
Our priest should increase the religious
En position, Votre Majesté.
balance here. Let's see the regions. For example, Paris. The royalty is very happy all over the nation, and the plebs are not that happy, but they are fine. And the plebs without a lot of money will never be very happy, I suspect. And here's our priests and other agents, a gentleman, a rake. We can move them around and spy. Our fleets will be connected. Here's our forces.
Oui, monsieur. Nous ne pouvons faire ça, monsieur. Marchez, monsieur.
I'm going to connect everybody into one large force so that we would have a chance of defending ourselves. And there's another smaller force here, which is probably going to be attacked by these Indian nations.
Oui.
Now, I want to find out how's the religion is working in this game, and here we are. Is there any kind of a religious kind of city interface that I can use? Right there. I just needed to click on this button. And what do we have here? We have +5 high class public order and lower class public order at 0, which is fine. It's 90% Catholic and 5% animism. Okay, 4 experts, port, industry. So that's how the city makes money. Tax burden, that's what makes them happier and happy. People in the government make them happy too. Oh, unhappy to be precise. Tax burden. Okay. So probably the people in the government eventually will recover their status. Food shortage is reducing the population growth here, but it's still increasing to some extent. It's only 6,700 individuals living here so far. These are our colonies in North America right here. And so these are our protectorates, kind of United States of America, without obviously being America. Sort of a nation that's within North America, but separate, however still puppeted by their superiors, such as how it was with the United States, I suppose. 13 colonies they used to be called, I think. Then after a civil war they became one nation. Currently they are fully under the Great British control, and there are many tribes that belong to these
Au service de votre majesté. Discrétion, mon mot d'ordre.
Indians.
Vous désirez
La volonté de...
So it says Catholicism is 30%. Here Catholicism is 95%. Here it's only 9%. We definitely need an army here. Now, what would provide? Who would provide us with the best troops? It looks like nobody would, in fact, provide us with the best troops. However, we do need them. Look at that, such a faraway colony here. Okay, so let's deal with the Europe first.
Votre Majesté.
Catholicism is at 80%.
Sans tarder. Avec empressement. Je piaffe
Now
patience.
this guy needs to go to the school and so
Comment
that
puis-je vous aider?
he could
J'attends vos-
assist with the research.
Un lieu d'apprentissage et de culture.
Now plug bayonet turns a musket into a crude spear or half pike by plugging the muzzle with a blade handle like a cork into a bottle. Enables infantry to fix bayonets in battle. That is obviously a very useful research. I think the most useful is the platoon firing. And because then the troops that can shoot on